Hi friends, welcome to the career options module. In this module, we will see what career options you have after completing your BCom or BAF. Friends, majorly there are 5 paths that you can choose after your graduation. Path 1 is to find a job and immediately start working after your graduation. While working, if you want to upskill yourself and get into banking, digital marketing or cyber security, you can also do short-term courses. Now let's move on to part 2, which is going for higher studies. So after graduating, you can do CA, CFA, CS, or you can do masters, which is MCom or MBA through entrance exams like CET, CAT, etc. Or you can prepare for civil services exams like UPSC, MPSC. This is part 2. Now let's move on to part 3. In part 3, there are certain courses like MCom which you can do along with your job. So in part 3, job plus higher studies. And in part 4, you can do business if you have an idea, but if you don't have capital, then do a job for a certain time or take a loan and start your business. Because currently the ecosystem is good. And if you have a good idea, research, an excellent plan, then you can just start and find investor and start your business and follow your dream. So this is part 4. And now finally, let's move on to part 5, which is doing freelancing. If you don't want to commit yourself to a full-time job, there are also certain freelance profiles which you can choose for. For example, freelance accountant, online tutor or content writer. So you can select this path as well. But for this module, our focus will be on path 1, which is getting job immediately after graduating. And we will see what career options you have for this. Before I begin, let me reiterate that BCom degree is enough to give you a good career, and the assumption that it does not have value is wrong. Let's begin with the recap of top 4 job profiles that we have already covered in detail. The first one is account executive, the one who undertakes accounting, reporting and legal compliance. The second profile that we saw was audit assistant, the one who helps auditor in completing the audit procedure. The third profile that we saw was GST assistant, the one who is responsible for maintaining record and help in filing GST return. And the last one was tally accountant, the one who maintain accounts by using a software known as Tally. So these are the top 4 profiles that we have already covered. Now let's move on to other job profiles that you as a BCom graduate can look for. Now we will deep dive into 5 profiles: data analyst, finance analyst, HR assistant, assistant relationship manager and loan officer. So let's begin with data analyst. Friends, we are in a world now wherein every day a lot of data is generated, and so having a correct data is very important for good decision making, and this is what the job of data analyst is. Data analyst collects the data, then clean it, analyze it and finally prepare a report out of it. We have already seen certain reports like budgets, variance report, which helps management in decision making. Sometimes as a data analyst, the company will just ask you to help auditors in preparing records. The second job profile is finance analyst. Similar to data analyst, finance analyst also gathers data, clean it, analyze it and make report. But the major difference is finance analyst also makes certain assumptions and predict the trends. For example, if a company wants to identify how much incremental revenue the company will generate from an additional machine, to make a report on this, finance analyst will see the past trends, will see the competitors, how much incremental revenue they are getting, and based on this, finance analyst will make certain assumptions and predict how much incremental revenue the company will generate. So this is the role of finance analyst. Next job profile is HR assistant. As an HR assistant, your work will be to undertake daily administrative work related to HR activities like training, recruitment, performance appraisal, handling grievances and legal compliance. So at the beginning, your work will majorly include compiling and updating HR records, HR communications, handling employee requests, preparing files for payroll processing, and finally coordinating for HR related activities like trainings, official celebrations, workshops, etc. The next job profile is assistant relationship manager. In this, your role will be to understand company's product and service first, then to understand what are customers' requirement, and finally recommend the best suitable product. And as a BCom graduate, you can apply for assistant relationship manager role in banking sector, insurance sector, or fintech startup companies. And also, just before applying or giving interview, just read the industry basics and terminologies used in the industry. Next job profile is loan officer. Friends, there are many loan disbursement companies, banks, and NBFCs that offer this job profile. Here you have to understand the client's requirement and give them the best loan recommendation, and then help in completing the documentation and handling their grievances. So these are the career profiles that you can choose. And at the last, I also want to highlight one unique job profile, which is management training. Friends, why this is unique? Because when you join in as a management trainee, the company will rotate you in multiple departments. For example, for 2-3 months you will work in manufacturing department, then for another 2-3 months you will work in finance, similarly in HR, marketing, IT, and after all the stints, finally the company will decide based on your liking and what they feel is best for you. So that department is get finalized and you will start working in that particular department. This role is very important for the company because what they are trying to do here is trying to find the future manager for that particular function. Friends, this brings us to the end of the career options which you can do after your graduation. So all the best.